G'day folks, Tony again here for more Star Control 2. Alrighty, let's start making our way across to these remaining couple of planets before we begin the hopefully successful haul back towards Seoul and the safety and security of the starbase around Earth. Ooh, some extra little moons to have a look at here. Let's head over here to this violet one. Hopefully we're not going to meet a violet end on it. Getting the dad joke out of the way quickly. And it's time for some scanning. What do we have here? Some fairly large deposits of something. Probably not overly expensive, but let's make our way downwards and see what we've got here. Definitely wanting to try and keep ourselves, ouch, in some, oof, that is too close for comfort. The temptation of those large deposits, even with the Class 6 tectonics, I thought that I would be able to handle it a little better than that, but I didn't. We only have 11 crew left now, so we are going to have to leave that one be. 11 crew members left on the flagship right now. What do we have here? Class 8 tectonics. Well, that's not going to happen. But in the interests of consistency, let's have a quick look. There's nothing there that is going to convince me to land on such a dangerous thing. Just out of curiosity, can we actually move crew between different ships? Let's see if we can move anything around here. What's going to happen if we do... Aha! So we can actually do this. We can recall... interesting. We can recall crew from the other ships onto this ship. So we might do that a little bit now. We'll work our way back up to each of these, say, having half left on them, which is still going to give us 44 crew on the main ship. Good times. Certainly don't want to lose that flagship or we lose everything about everything. Heading over to this final moon. What lies in store for us? Who knows? Class 2 tectonics. Looks like some radioactives down there, so that would be nice. It would be lovely to find some energy signatures and potentially be able to pick up some extra fuel. That is definitely something that can happen. But at the moment, not necessarily something that is going to happen. And in all this time driving around down here on the surface, I don't believe that distance traveled on the surface has anything to do with fuel consumption. I think that is solely to do with dispatching something down onto the surface itself. 0.3 is the fuel use on these things. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, I suspected that the amount of fuel used may have something to do with hazard levels. Or perhaps gravity? I don't actually know. 2 full batches worth of stuff there, and our cargo pods getting fuller and fuller. Just one more planet off in this direction now, I believe. So that's planet 7 of Delta Centauri that we've just looked at. And a little violet one out here. All on its lonesome. Let's hope for the best. Come on, don't hold out on me. Class 5 tectonics, oof. And not an awful lot of anything there. This is definitely not worth our time. So off and away we go. 14 fuel should be plenty to make it back towards Seoul. I'm not overly worried about that problem. But we may have to keep our eyes peeled for other ships. sort of one wandering around over there. Now, going to use cardinal terms. Northeast of us is where Seoul is. Just want to have a quick poke over here because I can't remember if we've been here or not. I don't believe so. There are no particular marks or indicators telling us where we have or haven't been. So with this game being released in the 90s, a large part of the experience was actually keeping track of things by yourself through the use of a pen and paper and just writing a big old bunch of notes. Of course, this was back from the day when you would buy a game in a box off of a shelf in a shop, and it would have a full manual and everything with it. And as part of that manual, more often than not, you would have a notes section at the back where you could scribble stuff down to, should you wish to. Those are some mighty tempting looking mineral deposits there. Class 2 weather, Class 6 tectonics. Just for the sake of giving it a go, let's have a try, see how bad it is. So we're nice and close to some of these things for picking up. Try and dodge some bits along the way. Still got enough for one more pickup, and we did it without losing anything. So I'm super happy with that. Yay me. So that's one down. Planet 2 of Gamma Centauri. There was a very large star system on the map very close to this one as well. I'm just not entirely sure if we're going to have enough fuel to reach it at the moment. I really don't want to have to use an emergency retrieval beacon unless it is in fact an emergency, to have people come and save us. Oh, a little moon. How lovely. So what we might do after this is we're going to head back to Seoul, and then we'll make our way back down in this direction. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, because who knows what might happen between now and then. No energy, no biological. 0.2 fuel use, sure. Should be enough for us to do one quick trip and pick up more stuff. So we pick up more things means that we're going to be able to sell more for more. There we go, and that's one full load. I think we might leave it at that. And surely this one is just going to be drowning in riches. Prove me wrong. Ooh. That is actually looking very nice. An ultraviolet world. Orbiting at 6 AU. Gravity 1.33, but that class 5 tectonics, I think it's worth a go. So some large golden looking deposits here. I'm sure that they're going to be at least worth a little bit. And it is actually gold. Ooh, a little bit of lightning happening there too. More gold. This might be the last thing that we're able to pick up. It is close enough. Losing a couple of crew there. We're going to be heading back this way to go to that other thing, so I think we might leave it there. And remember that Gamma Centauri Planet 1 is a thing that we're going to want to hoover more things off of on our next foray. All right. Let's see how this works out, folks. There were a couple of little dots there in hyperspace that were vaguely heading towards us. They didn't seem to be traveling with any particular amount of urgency, but let's swiftly make our way back towards Seoul. Keeping our eye on that fuel gauge, just dropped to 4. And now down to 3. Might be cutting it close. And unless I got it wrong, and I didn't, we are back at the Seoul system. So 175.2, 145 are the stellar coordinates, at least on this stellar map that this game is using. And now I've drastically overshot everything. A little bit too optimistic there. That's better. Hey, Starbase Commander, have I got some goods for you? Let's have a chat. Welcome back, Captain Clapton. Why, thank you, Starbase Commander. Before we proceed, I wanted to let you know A previously unknown alien race has recently made contact with our base. Cool. They call themselves the Melnorme and are anxious to initiate trading relations with us. If we are interested, they suggest making a rendezvous at Alpha Centauri. Excellent. So Alpha Centauri now somewhere that we want to look at, and also the Rigel system was mentioned in a previous episode. Of course, it's not giving us the stellar coordinates for either of those, so that's interesting. Anyway, Commander, I have minerals to offload. The Dank's cargo manifest lists many things of many things. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Nicely done. So 3,500, not too shabby. Not particularly brilliant, but it should be enough to get us our crew replaced and some fuel replaced at the very least. So let's try solving that fuel problem first, because that would be embarrassing to not have that solved. Going to crank it all the way back up to, I don't know, 35 seems fair. We won't worry about the other bits yet, because we're going to want to crew up. So let's do that. Getting all of the flagship stuff done. Stocking up all of our other vessels again. Tapping that enter key repeatedly. How much do we have left over now? 2,758. I think that rather than buy another ship, I would much rather be trying to deck out our flagship a little bit more. So we're going to try adding some modules. What have we got as options here? I don't think we need another planet lander right yet. Turning rate additions would be good. Another crew pod, I guess, could be nice. Storage bays, we haven't filled up all 3 of them yet. Fuel tank, well, we're not really fueling up a ton, but maybe getting some things that we could use for shooting. An ion bolt gun or a dynamo unit. They're both around about the same price, but we're also not really fighting any combat with our flagship yet. Perhaps thrusters and turning jets to move ourselves around a bit quicker. Maybe that's the way to go. So we're going to end up with 5 of those. We'll plonk some more turning jets on as well, giving ourselves a little bit more mobility. And I think for the rest of it, what we might do is we might just add some more fuel. Crank that all the way up to 50. Well, it's a little more than I expected. 55, sure, why not? So that's lots of fuel now for us to continue sailing around and trying to find things. I'm going to save the game right now because that, whoops. Let's try that again. There we go. Save the game now so that we're not faced with the embarrassing prospect. Oh, typing and talking at the same time. This is hopeless. Never mind me. So we're not faced with the embarrassing prospect of having to reload and replay a whole bunch of stuff. Instead, I'm just faced with the embarrassing prospect of not being able to type while I'm talking. Ooh, look at that turning rate. That's way better than it was before. And in terms of movement, we're really going to feel it here, I think, when we zoom out a little bit. Oh, look at us go. Oh no, I went close to Venus and I lost my more faster movement. There we go, zipping along. I like it. Does this mean that we have better fuel efficiency? Who knows? But at least we can scoot around a little more quickly. So let's head back in this direction. We do appear to be moving a tad faster, don't we? Maybe it's just my imagination. So we're going over in this direction. We're going to go back to that first planet that we found. Sorry, the innermost planet. Going to try and grab some more of these goodies from this little pinky purple one. Zoom. Oh, this is so much better. Still have no armaments on the flagship, but oh boy, can we scoot around now? All right. I believe we're going to have to do the scan again. So, of course, the retaining of information here in terms of all the individual bits and pieces that we have picked up or not is pretty groovy. I did say earlier on that this game reminds me quite a lot of a much earlier game that I also loved very much called Starflight. It was actually a game that was on floppy disk. So that game, I believe, was on two... Was it one or two? It might have only been one, in fact. Double-sided, double-density, 5¼ inch floppy disks with a big note written on the disc saying, do not play off... make copy, do not play off master disk. The entire game... Oh no, we lost... I should stop talking all the time. The entire game was essentially a fixed state game, which meant that absolutely every single thing in the entire game existed at the commencement of the game in a certain state. So there was no save file that would increase disk space required. But that meant that because it was just saving over the main disk, if you saved over the master disk, then you would not have a brand spanking new game to work from ever again. Those were the good old days. All right, we lost one of our landers. That was a bit shit. And that's my bad because I'm waffling. But I guess if I didn't want to face that additional challenge, then I wouldn't be recording YouTube episodes while I'm playing the game. All right, so we're at Gamma Centauri. I'm assuming that this means that Alpha Centauri is going to be somewhere nearby, possibly this giant dot on the map here that we're about to head into now. Let's have a look. Indeed, this is Alpha Centauri. So the Starbase captain has just told us that something's going to be here waiting for us, but I don't know what or where. So I'm going to start from the outermost planet because we can maneuver around a bit faster now. And it's going to be easier for me to mentally keep track of what I have or haven't done if we do it this way. Planet 9. Tell us the good news, Planet 9. That does look quite nice. Class 3 tectonics, good times. Nothing on the energy readings, nothing on the biology readings, but definitely going to pick these things up. There's going to be a few trips involved here, I think. Whew. So it sounds like we've got some fire rifts, as well as some earthquakes happening here. It's one down. Pick up all of this other stuff. Trying to keep an eye on that little map. All these sound indicators going off. Oops, constantly. Feeling a reasonable amount of pressure. Just from some very straightforward audio indicators. All right, one last dot to go. Possibly a waste of fuel, but I really don't mind. 23 ammonia, delicious. Let's continue making our way towards Planet 8. Next in line after Planet 7. Planet 8, next down the line from Planet 9. I wonder if it will be as profitable or potentially profitable as that one. Whew, that's an interesting looking map. Oh boy, it's a ruby world. So this is one of the jeweled worlds. There are some giant deposits of some clearly fairly expensive stuff. So that's nice. I'm also guessing that seeing as we're being steered here by a quest to meet an alien race, this is part of the reward of coming in this direction. 25 neutronium, delicious. Is being able to find this sort of stuff because presumably this is all going to sell for a rather lovely amount. And we'll be able to buy more cool things because of it. Back down to the surface we go, getting out of it scot-free. Nice work. Well, that was a pleasant surprise. What else is here? I can't imagine there's going to be another thing that nice just lying around waiting for us, but I could be wrong. Oh, hello. We have some sort of ship flying in towards this planet that we're just about to visit. Planet number 8, I have a feeling. Sorry, planet number 7. I'm really doing bad at remembering numbers of things. Something's coming to talk to us. I am Trademaster Greenish, in command of the Melnorme starship. Inevitably successful in all circumstances. I bid you a formal welcome, Captain. Though we Melnorme have just recently arrived in this region of space, we have long desired to make contact with your species and look forward to an extended, profitable relationship. I get where this is going. Does any of these options talk about the dank? It doesn't. Hey, we come in peace, representing the new alliance of free stars. Even before our first meeting, we knew of you, Captain. Though your struggle to free Earth shall be a long and difficult challenge, fraught with great danger and mystery. We have great confidence in you and your abilities. Oh, thanks. Hey, how did you know about us before meeting us? My ego's asking. We gather information from 1,000 secret sources in space and time. Our charge for revealing even one of those sources would be so high that your species would be in debt to us for centuries. Sure. Hey, what can you tell us about yourselves? We Melnorme are interstellar purveyors of fine trade goods and valuable information. Our origins and purposes are frankly mysterious, and due to several unavoidable factors, we are unable to discuss ourselves in any great detail. That's interesting. Hey, what are these unavoidable factors? First and foremost among these factors is our unwillingness to give away information about our history, psychology, and mental powers, our unique physiology, the exact locations of homeworlds, or our potentially ominous long-range plans. However, these important and relevant pieces of information are available for a nominal sum of credits. Interesting. Hey, do you have any information which might be useful to us? Absolutely. Our primary trade good is information. Why, right here on my display screen I have something which I am certain would be of incalculable value to you. We can discuss the details of this very significant information later, when we've established normal trading procedures. At which time, we shall also discuss the nature of our fees. Interesting. Fees? Surely your culture is far beyond such pettiness as money. You are, of course, correct. We long ago abandoned currency, and now only deal with commodities that have intrinsic value, such as valuable information. Sure. But our cause is just. Isn't altruism the highest pinnacle of morality? I've been waiting a long time to ask that question. No, it is not. In fact, in our culture, giving, with no fair exchange of goods or services, is considered vulgar and inappropriate. Please do not mention this subject again. Interesting. I'm kind of fascinated by the way that the iris of this creature is changing from a vertical iris to a horizontal iris. But let's ignore that. Trade is for the weak. We take what we want. I don't think that's very polite. Hey, shall we begin trading now? Yes, let us get down to business. Since this is your first time trading with us, let me explain how our system works. We are interested in purchasing certain items, specifically biological data on alien life forms, and the coordinates of certain strange worlds whose radiant energies defy all scanners, producing a rainbow-like image. Interesting. In exchange, we have many interesting and valuable commodities, such as fuel compatible with your starship's hyperdrive thrusters. Nice. Technological specifications allowing you to build new modules for your ship. Also nice. And protective systems to shield your planet landers from hostile surface conditions. Extra super duper nice. As well as many important secrets which may help you in your travels. To facilitate trade, we translate all your sales into star credits. with which you may make purchases. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Now, what can we do for you today? Oh, that background just changed colour. And it's letting me ask about it. Why did your bridge turn purple? That's a good question with a very interesting answer. The fee for this information is 120,000 credits. Okay. Hey, what's my credit balance, if you please? Your present balance is 0 credits. Well, dang. I have some items I would like to sell. We appreciate your intentions, but you have nothing we wish to buy. That's harsh and accurate. I would like to make some purchases. You need credits to purchase our trade items. Fine. To earn credits, you must sell us the items we desire, which are those things that they mentioned before. Let's not worry about them. Okay, sure. Goodbye, Trademaster. It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. Thanks. We look forward to your next visit. And I look forward to returning for another visit. But first, let me go and continue doing some scanning and some collecting. I'm not expecting there to be anything on this gas giant, but I'm compelled to continue checking anyway. What? I just talked to you. How nice to see you again, Captain. I wish I could say the same. Before we go, I have a small announcement, okay? As you may know, in our travels throughout the galaxy, we Melnorme have found many strange and interesting alien artifacts. Good times. One of these devices is the MetaChron, a kind of trans-time alarm system. In a nutshell, it warns me of future dangers by predicting its own demise. Okay. Which is most likely linked to my own well-being since I keep it under my pillow. The unit is a small pyramid, and when all is well, white in colour. But if we are proceeding along a timeline which will eventually result in the destruction of the MetaChron, the unit slowly darkens. Presumably it will be destroyed at the same time as it turns completely black. When we first entered this region of space, the MetaChron was white. Now it is light grey. At its present rate of change, something will destroy the MetaChron. In the early part of the year 2159, in order to avoid this unpleasantness, we may be leaving just before this time. So if you have business you wish to conduct with us, I suggest you do so before January 2159 or February at the latest. Your present balance is 0 credits. Interesting. So we have a few years in which to try and solve a problem by the sounds of it. So 3.5 years or thereabouts. Catch you later, Trademaster. It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. Yes, you said that before. Please don't interrupt me again. I'm trying to search for rocks in the ground. All right, what do we got here on Planet 7's first moon? Not much. A little bit, but not much. Not sure that's worth our time. Let's go to one other thing here. While we can, I think that ship has gone into orbit around the gas giant. All right. Reasonably large deposits, but also look at that weather and tectonics, 6 and 5. No, thank you. And not a ton of stuff happening there at the moment. Alrighty. So I think we're pretty much out of time for this part of the Let's Play. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. And please notify a friend if you think they might enjoy it. And come back again soon for more Star Control 2.